Okay, so we've got it mostly set up for VR, but right now we need a player controller in the same way we need one for scene one. And instead of the first-person controller that we used last time, we're going to use a special Oculus VR player controller. So to find that, we go into the Oculus assets, go into VR, go into prefabs, and find the OVR player controller and drag it into our scene. Now you see we have two cameras. We don't want that. Let's go to that main camera and just delete it. We don't need it anymore. So we have our OVR player controller, and I'm going to go ahead and just make that so it's kind of a normal-ish looking height. And so if you actually open this up, you'll see that there's a bunch of things inside of it and things inside of that, and we'll get to that at some point. But most notably right here is the camera. So with our player controller, developing on a Mac, we're not going to get to really see this because we can't plug in our Quest and kind of play it and see what's happening. But this camera can be slightly decoupled from the player controller. So what we need to actually do is add a component called a character camera constraint. So if you just start typing, right, constraint, you'll find it. And for this, what we need to do is set it to that camera rig, right? So I'll just grab this camera rig and drag it right into here where it says none, and really that's all we need to do, right? That's pretty good. Before you had to do like set dynamic height and stuff. It's changed a little bit since the last time I looked at it. From there, what we want to do is go into the camera rig and change the tracking origin type, right? And so we want to go to floor level, right? And this will kind of, when we put on our Quest, kind of track us based on our height, right? So whatever height we are. So that is going to be mostly how we do that. Let's look at how we actually then use the emulator, because you see now there's an emulator that only also just came out very recently to when I'm recording this video. So if we hit play, you'll see we kind of start in this middle ground. If I hold the control button, it will actually kind of bring me up to an eye level. I can use my my scroll wheel to kind of change my height. I can just move left and right on the mouse to look left and right. If I hold control and option, so you're holding control the whole time in this emulator. If I hold option down, right, I can change the pitch of my head, right, the tilt of my head. If I want to move, right, I can use the WASD keys, right? And so this can get me, so look, I can go to the table here. So that's what you need to know. As soon as I let off control, right, I kind of stuck here as if I'm not emulating the thing. So it's control that starts the emulation of our headset in this scene view. So that's something you're going to need to know. But we are all set up with just a basic thing here. If we built this to the Oculus Quest, we'd be able to move around. Well, we wouldn't be able to do much else because we wouldn't have hands or stuff, so we're not going to do that yet.